on Capitol Hill, Republican representative from Virginia, and chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Congressman Bob Goodlatte. And here in New York, the host of Dan Rather Reports on Access TV, Dan Rather. Dan, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, Mika.
I saw you on Hardball, and I thought, okay, we need Dan in here and some perspective. Before we go to the congressman, which story has the most legs?
The IRS story by far has the most legs. Okay. I'm not sure that either of the other two will last all that long. Both are fairly important, but the Internal Revenue Service story, it'll last quite a long while, depending on what the president does and doesn't do.
Okay, so on that, let's go to Representative Bob Goodlatte, who had the Attorney General in the hot seat yesterday on the AP story. First of all, would you agree with what Dan says, and what did you discover yesterday that perhaps bared some concern?
Well, we didn't discover a lot regarding the AP story because the Attorney General had indicated, and it is the case, that he recused himself, apparently because he was one of the individuals questioned regarding the leak. That, of course, was disappointing to us, but it means that the focus of the investigation will shift over to other people in the Justice Department. And the issue there, of course, is not that the administration shouldn't be looking for leaks related to their efforts to go after terrorists. The issue is whether this was handled properly in terms of both the overbreadth of it and why and how it was turned over to the Deputy Attorney General to pursue it. So we're going to have to look in other directions, but we will continue to look at that, and I think there are members on both sides of the aisle who are very concerned about how that handled. We have here obviously very important First Amendment rights that need to be protected in the media, and there is a process when you are subpoenaing documents from a media organization that apparently were not followed in this case, and we need to find out why.
Congressman, do we know why the Attorney General recused himself from that particular case?
We don't know, but we believe it has to do with the fact that he was questioned as a part of the process and therefore took himself out. We don't know that for certain, and we don't know why he was questioned. So obviously we have a ways to go in determining where this story will lead us, but it is an important oversight responsibility of the Congress to protect the First Amendment and to make sure that any administration is following the rules when it comes to what appears to be very overbroad request of documentation affecting 20 reporters over a 2-month period of time. That truly can be viewed as having a suppressing effect on freedom of the press.
Well, amen to that.
Amen to that, yeah.
Having said that, I think the tax story has the most legs. This is a very important thing.
Yeah.
I just think with the public, it's hard for them to get a grasp of why this is so important. I'd like to ask the Congressman, if I may, do we have any indication of why they chose to do this in secret? One of the most disturbing things about this, as you pointed out, there is a process to go through. Instead of going through that process, they did this in secret, rather than say to the AP, listen, we have some interest in this story, and use it as a negotiation over how far to go. Why didn't they do that, or do we know?
We don't know why that was done. Again, the Attorney General was not either able or not willing, either way, because he had recused himself from the matter to get into the details. And as I say, members on both sides of the aisle were frustrated by that, as well as frustrated by the progress so far on the IRS story. Although, again, with regard to the Attorney General, since they just announced a couple of days before that they were going to conduct a full-scale investigation into the manner in which the IRS looked into the 501c4 status and the applications of a wide array of organizations, not all conservative organizations, by the way, but clearly with an overwhelming focus on conservative organizations. Again, members on both sides of the aisle recognize the importance here of not allowing taxing authority of the government to be asking questions like, what books do members of your organization read? Who are the members of your organization? These things do not pertain to whether or not they are fulfilling the requirements of a 501c4 educational organization. And by the way, Tea parties, even though they have the word party in their name, are not political parties. They do not nominate candidates. If they seek the 501c4 status, they're not allowed to endorse candidates or conduct political campaigns, but they are certainly allowed to bring elected officials and candidates and others before their groups and ask them tough questions and so on. That's a legitimate part of the process, and it can certainly be an educational and nonprofit focus.
All right, Congressman Bob Goodlatte, we know you have to go. Thank you very much for being on the show. Dan,